And it's like, well, he just dropped his own, so, to me, it's common sense. So I see what Dave is also trying to say, in which, like, maybe we can see how deep he can go with this and actually get him to own up that he actually believes this versus place it on just the Bible.
Do you think, and I know this is going to sound like I'm defending Catholicism, but do you think these views came out after he converted to Pentecostalism, Mike?
No,
because he never really talked like this before, though, right?
Well, I don't see. That's the thing is, I was always suspect that he had anti-gay views. Okay. I just hoped that he'll never speak about it because it's like he's a big thing, and of course he did. And Catholicism is heavy on that stuff too.
The only thing that ever comes to mind to me whenever I hear someone really complaining about homosexuality is the lady thought protest too much. I'm wondering what's going on in the back of his mind to actually hate it this badly.
Yeah, I have no idea what that.
It's a quote from Shakespeare. It basically means like he's protesting too much. He's probably gay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you hear them people like they're so loud against the gay community, and then you find them in an airport, in an airport bathroom with like an intern or something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't really have anything else to say other than so his next fight will probably be the first fight that I don't root for Pacquiao.
He's such a likable guy. I was so rooting for him in that Pacquiao-Mayweather fight.
I know, right?
And now I'm so glad that Mayweather beat his ass. And then they questioned Mayweather, and he was so fucking gracious about it. He's like, just let people live how they want to live, And then they asked him again. He's like, you know what? Just let people live how they want to live. And yeah, I'm so glad that he beat Pacquiao in the last fight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard one. A woman beater and a gay hater.
God. Is this why boxing is dying?
Yeah, boxing's a mess because of that. No, I've been following Pacquiao since his brother was still a thing. I guess you guys didn't know. Yeah. He had a professional boxer brother named Bobby.
All right, so
bring Tyson back.
I do have one thing to add. There is a Filipino boxer by the name of Nonita Donaire. The Filipino Flash, and he was he's a defendant of the gay community, and he was trying to explain even through like religious tones that he's definitely like not bashing Pacquiao per se, but it's like an anti-Pacquiao. Like he had this post, and it was kind of nice to see that at least we got that guy.
Yeah. But he's no Manny Pacquiao in the ring, though, is he?
No, he hasn't been. He's not that dominant, but he's a real good boxer. Very, very skilled, good technique. I hope he gets more publicity.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully he gets publicity off of defending the gay community.
Yeah, I've seen no one talking about it.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until you mentioned it.
Do you know where Saskatchewan is? Probably not. It's in Canada. If you do, you might know a city named Regina. In Regina, there's a studio. And in that studio, there are, at least once a month, a bunch of skeptical atheist geeks and goofballs who get together to do a podcast. We are the Brainstorm Crew, and we're trying to help spread a bit of reason and critical thinking while still having fun. Never taking things too seriously, but still not accepting everything we're told. We go through different topics, exploring them in depth and often disagreeing. We try to stick to provable facts, and we never trust in myth. That's why we say we're woo-free since 2013. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, or Spreaker under Brainstorm, or check out our website, brainstormblog.net. I can't promise you'll always agree with us, but I can promise you'll have fun listening to us.
As it stands, BJ Penn's return to MMA will be delayed a little longer. The former UFC champion was scheduled to come out of retirement and fight at UFC 197 in April, but today the UFC released a statement concerning that return. UFC is aware of the recent allegations made against BJ Penn. The organization requires all athletes who compete in the UFC to act in an ethical and responsible manner, as detailed in the UFC fighter conduct policy. UFC will not tolerate violations of the policy. Every athlete is deserving of proper review, and this situation, as with any serious allegation, will be investigated by an independent party and thoroughly reviewed by the UFC. In light of the serious allegations, UFC has postponed plans to book Penn for any upcoming bout until more details are determined. ESPN is reporting that the matter in question stems from an August 31st, 2015 assault reported by a 29-year-old woman to the Delaware County Sheriff's Office in Ohio. The report was then forwarded to Hilo, Hawaii Police. Penn resides in Hawaii. Penn has been preparing for his return fight at the famed Jackson Wink MMA gym in Albuquerque, home of UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion Holly Holm and former UFC Lightweight Champion John Jones. Penn's last fight came in July 2014 when Frankie Edgar scored a third-round TKO victory against Penn. It was Penn's third consecutive defeat. Penn announced his retirement shortly after that fight.
Okay, I'll go first. I just want to kind of set the stage for the mic of who BJ Penn is. So it takes 10 years to get your black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's like the average bare minimum. BJ Penn did it in 4 years, so they call him the prodigy. When you think of a fighter, you think of courage, and BJ Penn inside the cage, the ring, the BJJ tournament circuit is the epitome of courage. This and I know that Mike knows people in Hawaii that have told him personally that this behavior is not foreign to BJ Penn. But if you're just a fight fan and you don't know anything about BJ Penn personally, this will come as a big shock to you, because in the fight community, he's considered the greatest lightweight of all time. He's a 2-division champion, all heart, never backs down from anything, and just seemed like a solid, virtuous, for lack of better terms, type of person that was an inspiration to a lot of people. And this one kind of, it's not like it hurt my feelings, but it bothered me a lot. Because it's somebody that I looked up to. Go ahead.
And I feel the same, because I had the opportunity to train with him cause I was out of my first MMA, gym. He had done a seminar, and he seemed like a cool dude. He went out and we did like a Q&A with him. He just seemed kind of like down to earth. And he kind of exhibited that chill, like Hawaiian Islander type vibe. But then a lot of my Islander friends, when I would tell him that, he's like, oh, dude, on Hilo, he's kind of he was kind of known as a dick. He would start bar fights, and, martial arts could, from day one, you learn not to do shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of get the gist that he's kind of a jerk. He just kind of goes around and fucks with people, and so it was like no surprise to me, but the actual story of what he did, it's fucked up and seems really crazy, but I don't know if it's true or not. That's because it could be.
Yeah. BJ Penn is kind of thinking about it. He's a cult status. He has a cult following. If he gets a bad decision from a judge, the judge will get swarmed by his fans. So there's a lot of people that look up to BJ Penn. He even had where this comes from is a writer for his website, bjpenn.com. And it was kind of actually, for a fighter, respected as a journalistic website that would bring news to the MMA community.
Yeah.
As well as a forum. That's how big he is. He's not on Manny Pacquiao level, but in the MMA community, he's bigger than Manny Pacquiao, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Go ahead, Chris.
I know nothing about MMA. I just,
I just like watching people make other people hurt.
Well, BJ Penn is really, really, really fucking good at making other people hurt.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments is him doing a flying knee to this guy Kaul Uno, and he knocks him down and then just slams his fist 5 or 6 times. The guy was already out. He just kept going.
The Sean Shirk flying knee and on the ground uppercuts up against the cage was pretty good too.
Yeah. Oh, and then was it Joe Stevenson, right? That super bloody fight.
Oh, disgusting.
But that it's weird because to me, BJ Penn has this kind of like it's almost to me it's like Manny Pacquiao because of that, like what he means and what he holds in terms of like his inspiration, and like to tarnish that is just it just kind of leaves me so bummed out.
Yeah.
And like I said, like the allegations, I'm not sure if we're aware, is that like the guy who used to write for BJPenn.com, he was basically, BJ Penn went to his house, right, and then was like threatening him and basically sexually assaulted his wife or girlfriend.
Yeah, he made her undress.
Yeah,
is what the allegations are.
It's real bad shit. And like
the reason why the guy said the reason why BJ Penn told me he did that is because the writer looked at BJ Penn's wife's ass.
Yeah,
like it's insane.
And it seems like one part of me is like that. It sounds way too outlandish, but at the same time, it's like I know this stuff about BJ Penn that like it also doesn't surprise me. So it's like I don't know what's true. That's why I've been kind of like, should I just hold until they do it? He even released a statement, I think, was it today, saying that he's being extorted. That was like what that was.
Mm. But like last year, he was arrested for beating up his friend in the parking lot, who's not a fighter, right?
Yeah.
And I charged for that, and that kind of threw me off because like, as an MMA fighter, a professional MMA fighter of BJ Penn's stature, like, let's be honest, the greatest fighters of all time say that BJ Penn is the greatest fighter of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For sure, he didn't live up to his potential because his work ethic isn't at the same level as a GSP, but his talent surpasses GSP's talent. It's just GSP worked a lot harder. So you have to put GSP higher than BJ Penn, but
no one knows what that is, Dave.
George St. Pierre.
Sorry, George St. Pierre. Sorry, guys. It has to be discussed when you're talking about these allegations. It just really bummed me out, the whole thing. And I normally don't get bummed out. Like, I was like, oh, Pacquiao, that's bullshit. I was angry at Manny, but with the BJ Penn thing, it bothered me in a different way.
Yeah, I would agree with that too, because like I forgot I saw that thing on Manny Pacquiao. It's like Manny Pacquiao loses over 2 million followers in like a day. I was one of those people who like immediately unfollowed him from everything. Cause I was like, I don't want any part of this. You ruined any part of like support that I had, and I can't even consciously like, you have enough support from other people, I don't need to add to it. And then with the BJ Penn thing, it's like, it's still fresh, but he's closer to what I do and more relatable. And it's like, it's such a bummer because everything you know about martial arts teaches you not to be an asshole. And here's this dude who kind of is like known in like by civilians as an asshole. But like the community itself is like, they revere him as like one of the greatest. It's kind of like that. Can you separate the person from their art kind of thing?
Yeah. Which like I'm kind of struggling to do. I don't want to say that it's a lie because like it very well could be the truth, and he has been arrested for other things in the past, but there is the little voice in the back of my head that has watched him fight 20 some odd times and think, watching him, there's no way he could do that. It's kind of like the Gotti situation when Gotti killed himself. I was like, there's no way. If you watch his wars with Mickey Ward, there's no way that a person like that could do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, here's like a weird like side thing to this. Do you guys know who Earthworm Jim is? Cartoon?
The video game? Yeah.
So he's a huge, like, he was like a huge thing for me. Like, I loved Earthworm Jim. It's like I have everything paraphernalia, figures, drawings. And then I read that the guy who created him was an asshole. He's anti-gay. He did the same thing, says gays are worse than animals. And that fucking devastated me. And it's like I have to separate his art from the asshole who he is. And even though like I still love like the Earthworm Jim stuff, anytime I look at it, I can't help but think, Doug Tenopolo, you're a fucker. Like fuck you. So it's like that. It's like BJ Penn, you're an asshole.